What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. We're back with another late video for those of you who are living on the sort of East Coast or Eastern Standard Time. I made a video about BioNano Genomics about a month ago at this point, where I talked about how there was so much problem on the horizon, especially considering that they announced a reverse stock split that was taking place on August 7th. Now, we're going to talk about what's happened since then and what I think is going to happen going forward. Once we sort of talk about sort of the usual, which is if you haven't done so already, make sure you follow me on All Tech, like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 5,000 subscribers. And remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube, and any idiot can turn on a camera and talk to you. So as a reminder, back on August 4th, we heard about the reverse stock split. I immediately made a video. 1,300 of you had watched this video talking about the worst is coming for BioNano Genomics. And remember, this is not a stock or a company that I am down on most of the time. In fact, there was a point in time where I really believed in the company. I had very strong conviction. I had very strong conviction in the CEO, Eric Holm. I believe that's what his name is. And since then, in the last 2 years, they've sort of been treading water and nothing good has been happening for the company. While we understand that the economic environment, the macroeconomic cycle has brought most of these speculative startup companies down, BioNano Genomics is probably the one that's gotten beaten down the most. As you know, I talk a lot about Nano Dimensions, Zomedica, Marathon Digital Holdings. All of these saw incredible drawdowns. But BioNano Genomics, it has been rough, let me tell you. So if we look at it right now, BioNano Genomics over Thursday, it was up about 5% during the market hours, another 2% after hours. Over the last week, it's actually up 27%. In the last month, it's actually down 37%. In the last 6 months, it's down 70%. Year to date, 73%. 1 year down 84%. And we went with a 5 year, but we went all the way from $137 down 97% since the top, which was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, right? Now remember, this stock, the value should be divided by 10 because they had a reverse stock split where basically if you had one share by BioNano Genomics, it became 10. So the $133 share price you just saw back in February, it was 13 bucks. And right now our effective price is 38 cents, 38.6 cents. Now, of course, marketing is everything, right? So if you sort of take a look over here, they were so proud to announce that they regained compliance with the NASDAQ minimum bid price listing requirement. What that means here basically is they got their stock price above $1, right? And that was because they were notified by the NASDAQ on May 30th that they were not in compliance with their minimum bid price requirement. And recently, they've had 10 consecutive business days from August 7th to August 18th, where their closing bid price has been $1 per share or greater. But the reality is, and you know it, the reverse stock split, you multiply the stock price by 10 and divided the outstanding shares by 10, right? You kept the equity the same, but I mean, your stock price just continued to go down. This is nothing to be proud of because they basically manipulated the share price to make sure they hit that requirement. And this is something I hope in the future the NASDAQ does something about, because if a company a company should not be able to stay on the stock market if they're unable to actually maintain a certain level of equity. I would love to see the NASDAQ and other exchanges look at a market cap of a company and say, if you're below this market cap over a long period of time, that's what we sort of measure you on, not the price, because the price is arbitrary. I've talked to so many people who will tell me that, like, oh, well, Apple's not as big of a company as a company like, I don't know, let's say Nvidia, right? But Apple's got a way bigger market cap because they have way more shares outstanding. is not just the number of shares, it's the number of, it's not just the price, it's the price times the number of shares. Anyway, so this sort of announcement is kind of whatever, right? The other thing is if you go check out StockTwits, you'll have a lot of people who are somewhat bearish, right? People are like, oh, my average cost is 13.81, which means it's like $1.30, $1.38 is their sort of what they had got their price at. And they're hoping for it to go to 150 soon, right? And like a lot of people who have massive average cost, like 8.9, because the average cost is $89. And you know what? Like people are sort of just sitting here on StockTwits posting a bunch of garbage. I typically don't look at this outside of a way to measure sentiment. Now, if we take a look here, and remember, I've told you guys about BioNano Genomics in the past. There were opportunities to make a ton of money off this company, and I did. If you want to see that, like when I bought, when I sold, when I took profits, you can find all of that in the description below. I put the links to those videos. I've been very transparent. I said that I was selling my BioNano Genomics, taking the profit, and not coming back until I saw certain things change. When you do that kind of stuff, people call you a sellout, people call you an idiot, tell you you're going to miss out. The reality is I'm not here to get attached. I'm here to make money. That's the end of it. So if I don't think that a company can make me that money, I have no reason to keep my conviction. And that's why this channel is all about me sharing my financial journey, right? Whether or not you sort of agree with it, so be it. There's a way to be respectful, obviously. And, I sort of try to flag what my thoughts are. And one of my things here was, well, you announced a reverse stock split on August 4th. It made it very clear to me, based on everything that I have seen in the past, that the stock would draw down significantly. I've seen this time and time again, despite how many sort of good news stories people want to say. And we can see that here, right? The purple line is when they announced the stock split. I made the video. The Monday after, we just see the stock just completely crater. You see, it just completely tanked. Sorry, this is August 4th right here. So this was when they announced it, and it just completely cratered. It went all the way down from, $4.88 or 48 cents, all the way down to 28 cents, about 50% in the course of 2 weeks. Now, over the last few days, it's rebounded. There's a couple news events that we can cover. The first thing I will cover, which happened at a really bad time with the sort of reverse stock split, is their Q2 earnings. So when we look at the Q2 earnings, I'll sort of high level stuff, because remember, this is a marketing press release, right? They're not going to put out something that's like super terrible. So their Q2 revenue is $8.7 million. Okay, cool. They installed 281 in total. That's how much they have installed, which is 22 more than they had, right? So they installed 22 new systems in Q2, whatever that device is. So they sold 3,394 flow cells. No, it's not. 5226, whatever the 7,062 divided by minus 5226, about 1,500 flow cells were sold in Q2. They have some announcements around their software and a grant program and sort of attending conferences. But what I care about is the dollar figures. So total revenue was 8.7 mil. Gross margin was 27%, which means for every dollar they made 27 cents, which is pretty bad, like if you consider that. Not just that, but their overall operating expense was $41.5 million for the quarter. That is insane, right? Think about it this way. When we look at other companies, they are not sitting here burning this much cash. There's no way. You cannot do that. If you sit there and burn this much cash, you won't have a possible runway for the long term. So cash and cash equivalents dropped about $20 million for the quarter, which means that they probably have 2 to 3 more quarters left. And if I was a betting man, this tells me that I can really expect there to be a share offering coming, or some sort of preferred share dilution provided to a third party. Either way, there's going to be a dilution soon, because there's no way that the CEO is going to allow these shares to sort of continue to drop, but also have little to no runway. Because remember, we are not sitting in a period of time where money is sort of free to access. To get access to money, you now have to pay a significant interest rate, and this company can't afford that right now. So for BioNano Genomics to survive, my thoughts here are they will have to do an offering either this quarter or next likely, and they're going to do that because they need to get the money ahead of time. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting there not able to do their operations and build a path forward, right? So that's something to keep in mind. For me, this is horrible because, and by the way, it hurts to say this because I think they have a really cool concept with Sapphire, but they really haven't executed the way they should have been so far. Just always keep this in mind. Don't be that person who buys in and goes, hey, this is a fantastic deal. It's sitting at 38 cents or $3.86. You know, I'm going to keep referring to the pre-split price because it's sort of better relatively. But people will buy these shares thinking they're getting a deal, and the stock will continue to go down. Why? Because there is going to be a significant dilution. And how many times can Eric sort of do this to his shareholders? Like, the people are very upset because, you know, very much a lot of promise. You know, the bull market is a distant memory. We're like 400, almost 500 days from that bull market. And this company has done nothing to sort of secure capital or to sort of move things forward. In fact, it looks like they are almost like doing Hail Marys at this point, right? Like, there hasn't really been significant adoption of Sapphire. 22 units in one quarter is nothing. What are you spending $42 million on, right? Like, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Now, I get that there's a certain amount for this acquisition of Purigen Biosystems, but why are we giving $3.7 million in stock-based compensation? So what? Why are they getting compensated in $3.7 million in stock that they're likely selling? Because at the end of the day, you should be getting bonuses when you're succeeding, not getting bonuses for just being there. This is not the performance that deserves that kind of reward. And what I'd hate to see is for them to provide that kind of award to management who haven't done anything for the shareholders. In fact, the shareholders are suffering. The price is going down. You see it's down 97% from February, or 97, 98% from February. It's down like 80% in the last 6 months, or 70% in the last 6 months. Is this what's worth $3.7 million in stock-based compensation? I don't think so. One of the other things that sort of we'll look over here is, these are like high-level announcements, but they've got a new CFO, Gulsen Kama. Not really sure how good they are. They got their CAP accreditation for the clinical lab. Really, none of this stuff had any effect on the price. But recently, they've sort of done some more development on their second OEM partner, and they got the China NMPA approval, and this allows them to do DNA extraction and product labeling for optical genome mapping and reproductive health. That could be a lot of potential. And finally, they've announced another publication demonstrating that utility of optical genome mapping. And I think this announcement might have done something to push the market, because this is the significant news that if you look at the last couple of days, since that announcement, there has been a significant draw or a significant boost going from $3.04 or 30 cents to 38.6 cents. In fact, we were as high as $4.18 or 41 cents pre-split before that. So this is something definitely to consider. If you're asking me for a verdict, would I buy this stock now? No. Would I buy the stock at, we'll call it $3 or something, or $3, which seems to be the bottom over here? No. The reason for that is I suspect a dilution coming. I'll wait for a dilution, and I'll do an assessment based on where I think the company is going. There are so many opportunities in the stock market right now that you can pick so many better options. And I believe Mara is probably one of the best options for people. If you're looking at Mara, you can check other videos I have on this channel. My recommendation is you wait for Bitcoin. If you are going to buy this, wait for Bitcoin's price to drop to 23,500 or 24,000. The price of Mara will drop to around $7-8 probably at that point. But that's where I'll be loading up on Mara. In fact, I made a video a few days ago saying, hey, look, Mara is sitting at $13. And I sold my Mara at $13.50, saying that Bitcoin would come down. You can check my channel, and guess what happened? Bitcoin came down, and Mara has been dropping. It's only lost 80 cents so far, but I expect Mara to be below $10 in probably the next couple of weeks. So these are sort of the things. Like, remember, even if you believe in something, you can still trade it, right? Like I have a long-term position in these companies and a swing trade position. As it relates to BioNano Genomics, I will not be buying in for a pretty long time. I've got to see a lot of things change. I'm not happy with sort of the movement of the company. I'm not happy with the fact that they're burning so much cash. And I really want to see them sort of escalate production, sort of get it commercialized finally. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Take care.